Oh my goodness, hello! So probably should not be making this video right now because it is 11:20 at night and I still have to finish a paper, a like 25-page paper by the way, that is due tomorrow afternoon. I have to finish packing my room because my mom is going to help me move all my stuff out and she's coming at 10:30 in the morning tomorrow. So, probably should be like doing other things right now, but in true college procrastination fashion, I decided to make this vlog instead. So, I'm actually going to be talking about college because if you didn't figure out by what I just said or through other means, I am graduating from college. Tomorrow is my official last day of college, even though all I'm really doing tomorrow is turning in a paper. But it is my official last day of school as an undergraduate student. So I am very excited. I am kind of in shock. Like, it was one of those things where I was actually really looking forward to this moment for the last like 6 months. And now that it's here, I'm like, wait, this is it? Like, it's really happening right now? Can we, like, rewind and can I live some of this over? Because I really feel like it went by so freaking fast. And, I mean, I guess life goes by quickly. But it definitely went by like that. So, I wanted to talk a little bit informally. I might make a formal video at some point about this, but a little bit informally, I'm going to put this on my blog about making the most of your college experience if you're a college student or go to college or think you want to go to college or whatever the case is. Because college is one of those things nowadays where it's obviously super expensive and it doesn't come with a lot of guarantees. You know, it used to be where if you went to college and you got a degree that you were pretty much handed a job after you graduated, and it's sadly, unfortunately, not that way anymore. Even if you have a lot of experience and da 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 da, a lot of times you're still not guaranteed a job. So it is not fun, let me tell you, because that's what I've been experiencing over the last like month or so. So it is not it's not child's play. I'll just put it that way. So you want to make sure that when you're going into college, you are kind of doing it for the right reasons, I think, and also you know or have some idea as to like what you want to get out of it and how you can make the most of it. So I'm going to get into my story of college a little bit. So I did not take the traditional route as a student. I don't really take the traditional route in anything in life. So this kind of follows suit with that. Basically, when I was in high school, I absolutely hated high school. I despised my parents, and I was just kind of going through a really hard time. And I really wanted to get out of high school as quickly as possible. And so what I did basically was at first I geared up to graduate early. I did classes in the summer of high school, which is not like summer school as in like I failed, as in like I was doing extra classes, which is pretty much like unheard of for high school. So, I mean, it was something I wanted to do though, because I wanted to get out as soon as possible. And so I did that for a year, and then as actually a sophomore in high school, I started doing community college classes. And how I did it at first was I went to high school during the day, so the whole day I was in high school like a normal student, and then at night I went to the community college and did classes. So I did like the first semester, the fall semester, I did one class that was like Tuesday and Thursday nights, and then I had like a 4-hour class on Saturdays. Which now thinking back on, I'm like, wow, that was a pretty grueling schedule, you know, because I went to school for like 7 hours during the day. That's like how long the school day it was. And then 2 days a week I went to community college at night, and then Saturday I went for 4 hours. So, and I was doing a lot of classes then. So that was, you know, pretty grueling, but at the same time, I was into it and it was exciting, and I wanted to be able to get out of high school and do college classes because I basically did like my freshman English, like 101, when I was a sophomore in high school. So I was only like 15 years old. And technically, I've been doing college classes since I was 15. So there's that. And so then when I was a junior and senior in high school, my parents didn't end up allowing me to graduate early, which looking back on it was good, but at the time I was so pissed, especially because I had done so much extra work. And so what I ended up doing was my last 2 years of high school, so my junior and senior year, I went full time to community college. So I didn't do any high school level classes. I didn't even go to my high school. All I did was community college classes. And so basically I did like 2 full years of college. And so obviously I got way ahead. And then when I entered into college, when was that? So I technically entered like summer of 2013, and I entered I think with like 65 credit hours that I had already completed, so like more than half of my degree. And then I did like half of the summer because the way my school works is like it's the summer semester is like in two chunks. So there's like part one, part two. So I did like part two, and then obviously fall and spring. And then this last summer, I did the entire summer semester, and then this semester. And so, yeah, so basically I graduated college in a year and a half. So 2.5 years early, if you want to look at it that way. I just turned 20 2 days ago. So way early, obviously, way earlier than everyone else. And it's because of all the community college and stuff I did, as well as the summers. And part of the reason I did summers is because they're also cheaper. So there's that. And yeah, so that's basically like how I did college so quickly. But the interesting thing is that I'm not actually a perfect student. I'm not somebody who's like a 4.0 student. And a lot of that is because it's not that I don't believe that I could be. It's just that I don't really enjoy school that much, to be honest. I'm not somebody who's that into school. I like to learn and all that stuff, but I don't know. I'm just like not that into the school environment. So yeah, I'm not like a bad student. I'm just not like a perfect, great, amazing student. So yeah, but I think I make up for it in so many other ways. And one of those is like I'm very obviously involved in activism and community stuff, and I have been for, oh my gosh, like 3.5 years, I want to say. More like 3, but like almost 3.5. Because I started that stuff while like right before I started doing community college full time. And, it really gave me a drive, really gave me something to focus on, and I really found my passions that way. Although it's interesting because now I've changed course a little bit, and I actually want to go in a little bit of a different direction than I studied and like did jobs and stuff in. I'll talk about in a second. So yeah, and I realize this is 8 minutes and I haven't even gotten into the like college stuff, but I guess in terms of like tips for you, but I guess I'll do that in a different video and then have this just be like Erin talks about her college life. So yeah, so I'm really excited. That's basically how I did it. And then, so in terms of what my degree is in, so I'm going to have a bachelor's degree in, Bachelor of Arts degree in Women and Gender Studies, which is a pretty rare major, and most people who major in it too, I've found, also have like a double major or something, and I don't. And in terms, it's been interesting because it's not that I regret majoring in it, but I regret majoring in it. So, because I don't really believe in regrets though, so it's one of those things. But looking back on it, I didn't really learn much, I don't think, in the degree program that will necessarily help me in the career that I want to have, and also that I didn't already know in some way through my activism, if that makes sense. Because I think a lot of what I learned was stuff that I sort of already knew. And it's a degree that you kind of use if you want to be like a professor, and it's one of those things where it's like you pretty much go to graduate school if you get a degree like that. And I don't want to go to graduate school, and I especially don't want to go to graduate school for a degree like that. And actually, if I do go to graduate school, my plan is to get a business degree, and that kind of leads me into my new passions, because I've discovered lately that I think defining my life in terms of just like feminism and activism and all that stuff isn't really healthy, and I don't think is for me. And I think part of it is because if you look at major like feminist figures, and even not major feminist figures, just people who are involved in activism and stuff, like for most people it does kind of become your life. You know, you seek out a feminist job, you have feminist friends, you do all of these feminist projects, you know, it's like all encompassing. And but I've come to realize that I don't view um, that sort of a framework of all encompassing or being actually sort of codependent upon the work, or anything as being healthy. Like if I was talking about doing the same things but just with a different context, I would look at it as unhealthy. So I'm like, why would this also not apply to feminism? It does, I think. And, you know, and I think I do see people for sure who it kind of takes over your life, and it kind of can compensate for maybe other areas that you don't feel as confident in, or can kind of act as a band-aid for other issues you might have. I've totally seen that in other people. And I don't want to be that person. I don't want to become someone like that. And I've kind of seen myself maybe go down that road a little bit. And so I'm kind of like backpedaling and looking a little bit at some of my other interests. And also, like, part of it was like for the last few months, I've kind of lost my energy. Like, you know, I mean, burnout's very common in this kind of stuff, but like in a sense where I almost feel like I'm not really ever gonna like learn anything super new and exciting and have like a revolutionary epiphany. Like I don't foresee that happening again in this particular context. So I almost feel like I've kind of reached a peak. And because I've reached the peak, I'm like, all right, I don't know where I really have to go from here. So that's where it's kind of coming to realizing that I think I want to go in a slightly different direction. And, you know, I don't plan on stopping the work that I'm doing or completely neglecting it or leaving it behind, but I think I'm definitely going to cut back and start establishing a career actually in business. And particularly, I'm looking to open my own business. I'm actually in the process of opening my own business right now. It's a long, couple year long process, but I am in the process nonetheless. And I'm also developing a passion for fitness and exercise and nutrition and cooking and all of that fun stuff, as well as like fashion and beauty. And I'm trying to be more proactive about that. And so I'm going to be like diving into different areas and making myself, I think, a little bit more well-rounded and complex. And I know I've already started to like feel the effects of that and feel better. And yeah, you know, I've kind of realized through my journey that like maybe the life I thought I wanted to live isn't actually what I want. And that's okay. And like sometimes, you know, yeah, it would have probably been better to realize that like a year and a half ago. And, you know, obviously because I'm not doing the traditional college thing, I can't just like, oop, I'm going to change my major now because I'm graduating. So it's kind of interesting. And, but at the same time, like I said, I don't really believe in regrets. And I think if anything, it's something to grow from and just learn from. And I don't think it means I'm not going to be successful or I can't be successful at all. If anything, it actually motivates me even more to go out and get it because I have to just teach myself a lot of these things. But that's fine. I actually do my best work when I'm a self-taught person or an autodidact, if I want to be super fancy of my vocabulary. And that's how I initially found feminism too. So I'm like, I mean, I've done this process already, and I think I can easily replicate the formula. So yeah, so this video has gotten pretty long, but I just kind of wanted to give some reflections now that I'm graduating. And I promise I'm going to make another video with tips for people entering college. And I might make another one too, like with graduating college, like my experience and advice. Although I might wait a little bit longer to do that one so that I can actually go through the process completely myself. So thank you for watching. If you watched, kisses and love, and I will see you soon.